Happy New Year! With all your resolutions for the new year, I hope one thing you'll resolve is to have a new view of truth. A new view of truth in 2016. Truth doesn't change. Jesus Christ says, I am the way, the truth, and the life. And Scripture says that Jesus Christ is the same yesterday, today, and forever. Truth doesn't change. But the view you take of truth can change and should change. Many people say of the Old Testament, why do we have the Old Testament anymore? Even Christians say we don't need the Old Testament anymore. We have the New Testament. Gideon just puts the New Testament in your pocket, not the Old Testament, except the Psalms. Why? Because they lose track that the Old Testament and the New Testament are two views of truth. They're two sides of the same coin looking forward to the coming of the Savior. And writing down as God told them to. Write down all that I'm doing for you, all that I'm telling you, about my faithfulness to you, about my love for you, so they can see who I am in this situation. They were looking forward to the cross of Christ. They were looking forward to the Savior that would rescue them. And now in the New Testament, we live as Christians in the shadow of that cross. We live and breathe and have our being in the Lord in the knowledge that we have been saved back then by the cross. So we can do nothing in ourselves, but it is all in Christ. The symbols of the Old Testament have that much more meaning because of the New Testament. They're two sides of the same coin. And we can have a new view of truth every day of 2016. Just as the prophet Jeremiah did. Jeremiah the prophet was telling the people of God who had disobeyed God that they were going to suffer great suffering. And for that prophecy, they made him suffer because of the bad news that he brought. And he said that while he thought of the torment and the horrors that were coming on his people, he moaned and groaned and it tore him up inside. But then he took a new view of the truth. This is what he says in Lamentations, the book of Lamentations, of weeping and crying. This is what he says. So I say, my endurance has perished. So has my hope from the Lord. Remember my affliction and my wanderings, the wormwood and the gall, the bitterness. My soul continually remembers it, and it bowed down within me. But this I call to mind, and therefore I have hope. The steadfast love of the Lord never ceases. His mercies never come to an end. They are new every morning. Great is your faithfulness. The Lord is my portion, says my soul. Therefore I will hope in him. The Lord is good to those who wait for him, to the soul who seeks him. It is good that one should wait quietly for the salvation of the Lord. It is good. A new view of truth. That's what I'm hoping and praying for you. That every day you would see the mercies of the Lord, the loving kindness of the Lord is new every morning for you to enjoy every morning of 2016.